Overthinking is not a personality flaw or a problem you have to win against. These 5 Japanese-inspired practices can help you interrupt the loop, create mental space, and return your attention to what you can actually do next. 1. The thought that won't let you sleep. Your mind is not overthinking because you are weak. It is overthinking because it believes there is a problem somewhere in your life that can be solved if it just thinks a little longer. One more replay of that conversation. One more prediction of what could go wrong. One more attempt to figure out what people really meant. One more version of the future where you finally get everything under control. And the cruel part is this: the more intelligent, responsible, and self-aware you are, the easier it can be to get trapped there. Because your mind gives you a deal. It says, keep thinking, and I will keep you safe. But it rarely delivers safety. It delivers exhaustion. The Japanese approach is not about forcing every thought to disappear. It is about changing your relationship with the thought before it turns into an endless loop. And habit number 4 is going to feel almost illegal at first, because it asks you to stop trying to fix the thought before you move your life forward. After hook, stay with me, because the 4th habit can break the "I need to figure this out first" loop in a matter of moments. Not by fighting your thoughts, but by refusing to hand them control. 2. The belief that keeps the loop alive. Most people treat overthinking as an information problem. They believe that if they can just collect enough evidence, replay enough details, or plan enough possible outcomes, they will finally feel calm. But overthinking is rarely a lack of answers. It is often an excess of mental resistance. You are not only thinking about the problem, you are arguing with uncertainty. You are arguing with the past. You are arguing with a future that has not happened yet. And that is why the more you try to force certainty, the louder your mind becomes. This is where several Japanese practices offer a different direction. Not more hacks, not more productivity, not another complicated routine you will feel guilty about missing. Less noise, more space, one small action at a time. Let's begin with the first habit, the one that changes the questions you ask yourself at night. 3. Habit 1. Naiken. Replace self-interrogation with clear reflection. When you overthink, your mind often turns into a courtroom. You become the prosecutor, the judge, and the defendant. Why did I say that? Why did they act like that? What is wrong with me? What if I ruined everything? In Japan, a reflective practice called Naikan offers a different set of questions. Traditionally, it asks you to reflect on 3 things. What did I receive from this person today? What did I give to this person today? What trouble did I cause this person today? Notice what these questions do. They do not ask you to prove that you are good enough. They do not ask you to predict the future. They do not ask you to relive every embarrassing moment. They bring you back to reality. Overthinking grows in vague, emotional fog. Naikan replaces that fog with specific evidence. Maybe you are replaying a tense conversation with a friend. Instead of asking, "Do they secretly hate me now?" ask, "What did they actually give me? What did I genuinely give them? Was there anything I need to repair?" Simply and honestly, that is not rumination. That is reflection. And reflection has an ending. Tonight, do not write pages. Take 2 minutes. Choose one person who has been occupying too much space in your head. Write 3 short answers. Then stop. Not because the relationship is fully solved, but because your mind has finally been given something more useful than panic: perspective. And once you stop feeding the loop with accusations, you can create something overthinking hates most: an empty space. 4. Habit 2. Ma. Build a small gap before your thoughts. Build a prison. In Japanese culture, there is a concept called ma. It can refer to a meaningful gap, pause, interval, or space. Not empty space that has no purpose. Space that gives everything around it room to breathe. You can hear it in the silence between musical notes. You can see it in a quiet room with nothing unnecessary demanding your attention. You can feel it in the moment after someone speaks, before you rush to fill the silence. But modern life has trained us to fear this kind of space. A quiet moment becomes a chance to check your phone. A 5-minute wait becomes a chance to scroll. A pause in conversation becomes something we try to rescue. And when every gap is filled, your thoughts never get the chance to settle. They just keep moving. So here is a simple practice. Create one 10-minute ma every day. No phone, no podcast, no music, no productivity task, no attempt to meditate correctly. Just sit by a window, walk slowly outside, drink tea, or stand quietly while your mind protests. At first, it may feel uncomfortable. That discomfort does not mean it is failing. It means you are finally noticing how much stimulation your mind has been using to avoid hearing itself. You do not need to solve every thought in that gap. You only need to stop adding new ones. Because a mind that never pauses cannot tell the difference between an urgent problem and a passing feeling. And the next habit teaches you how to sit inside that pause without turning it into another performance. 5. Habit 3. Shikantaza. Stop trying so hard to feel calm. One of the most surprising ideas in Soto Zen is shikantaza, often translated as just sitting. Not sitting to achieve something, not sitting to become impressive, not sitting to force your mind into silence. Just sitting. That sounds almost too simple to matter. But overthinking often survives because every emotion becomes a project. You feel anxious, so you try to fix the anxiety. You notice the anxiety has not disappeared, so you become anxious about the anxiety. Then you judge yourself for not being calm enough. Now one thought has become an entire identity crisis. Shikantaza offers a quieter response. Sit down. Put both feet on the floor. Relax your hands. Notice one breath entering and leaving your body. When a thought appears, do not chase it. Do not debate it. Do not ask whether it is good, bad, deep, useful, or dangerous. Simply notice. Thinking is happening. Then return to the feeling of sitting. This is not about making your mind blank. A blank mind is not the goal. The goal is to discover that a thought can exist without becoming an instruction. You can have the thought, I might fail, and still sit. You can have the thought, they probably judged me, and still breathe. You can have the thought, I need to solve this right now, and still choose not to obey it immediately. That is a small shift, but it is a powerful one, because the moment you stop treating every thought like an emergency, your nervous system begins to learn a new language. Which thought has been asking for your attention on repeat lately? Name it in the comments. Not to give it more power, but to stop carrying it alone. 6. Habit 4. Morita. Let the thought stay, then move anyway. This is the habit that feels wrong at first, because it does not tell you to get rid of the thought. It does not tell you to wait until you feel confident. It does not tell you to solve your anxiety before you act. Japanese psychiatrist Shoma Morita developed an approach now known as Morita therapy, built around a simple but challenging principle. Feelings may come and go. Purposeful action can still continue. Think about what overthinking normally demands from you. It says, do not send the message until you feel certain. Do not start until you know you will succeed. Do not rest until the whole problem is solved. Do not move until fear leaves. But fear is rarely finished speaking. If you wait until your mind gives you complete permission, you may wait for years. So instead, try this. When you notice an overthinking loop, say, this thought can come with me, but it does not get to choose my next action. Then choose one visible action that fits your values. If you are overthinking an email, write the first sentence. If you are overthinking a difficult conversation, choose a time to have it. If you are overthinking your future, complete one task that serves tomorrow. If you are overthinking sleep, put the phone down and begin your evening routine anyway. Do not wait to feel ready. Action does not always remove anxiety instantly, but it stops anxiety from becoming your manager. And that is why this habit can feel so fast. Not because it magically erases the thought, because it ends the negotiation. 7. Habit 5. Shinrin-yoku. Give your attention a wider horizon. Overthinking narrows your world. It makes one message feel like your entire future. One mistake feel like your entire identity. One uncertain outcome feel like the only thing that matters. That is why Shinrin-yoku, often called forest bathing, can be so grounding. Forest bathing is not a fitness challenge. It is not about tracking steps. It is not about taking the perfect photo. It is not about reaching a destination. It is about slowly spending time in a natural environment and letting your attention move outward. The movement of leaves, the feeling of air on your face, the sound of footsteps, the changing pattern of light, the distance between you and the next thought. Research on forest bathing suggests it may support short-term reductions in stress and anxiety symptoms, though it is not a substitute for mental health care when you need it. You do not need a mountain in Japan to borrow the principle. Go to a park, stand under a tree, walk on a quiet street with your phone in your pocket. Look at the horizon for 60 seconds, then do something overthinkers almost never do. Name 5 things you can see that have nothing to do with your problem. A cloud, a window, a bird, a branch moving in the wind, the color of the pavement. Your problem may still be there, but it is no longer the entire universe. 8. The 5-minute Japanese reset for tonight. Do not try all 5 habits perfectly. That would only give your overthinking a new project to obsess over. Instead, use this 5-minute reset tonight. Minute 1. Write 1 Nikan reflection. What did I receive today that I did not fully notice? Minute 2. Create ma. Sit without your phone, music, or another task. Minute 3. Practice shikantaza. Notice your body sitting. Let thoughts arrive without chasing them. Minute 4. Use Morita's direction. Choose 1 small action for tomorrow, even if you still feel uncertain. Minute 5. Look outside, stand near a window, or step outdoors. Let your attention rest on something larger than your internal monologue. That is enough. Not a perfect routine, not a new identity, not a promise that you will never overthink again. Just 5 minutes of showing your mind that it does not need to run the entire night. 9. The quiet you were looking for. The goal is not to become a person who never thinks deeply. Your ability to reflect, plan, notice, and care is not the enemy. The problem begins when reflection becomes a cage, when every pause becomes panic, when every feeling becomes a command, when every unanswered question becomes proof that you are unsafe. The Japanese ideas behind Nikan, Ma, Shikantaza, Morita therapy, and Shinrin-yoku all point in a similar direction. You do not need to overpower your mind. You need to make a little more room around it. A pause, a breath, a small action, a wider view, a decision to stop demanding certainty before you live. Your thoughts may still arrive tonight, but they do not have to own the room. End. Which one will you try first tonight? The 3 Nikon questions, 10 minutes of Ma, or 1 action before certainty? Comment with your choice, and subscribe if you want more calm, practical ideas like this.